Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Sushma Talegaonkar from Jamia Hamdard. Today we are going to discuss different methods of nanoparticle preparation under the paper Novel Drug Delivery System. The learning objectives in this particular model which we are going to discuss, the first is the formulation aspects of polymeric nanoparticle. Under this heading, we are going to discuss the various techniques, various process variables which affect this technique, merits and demerits. The methods which we are discussing today, the first is the spontaneous emulsification or modified emulsion evaporation method, salting out method, nanoprecipitation or solvent displacement method, dialysis method, supercritical fluid technology, spray drying also called as a nanospray, emulsion polymerization, mini emulsion polymerization and interfacial polymerization. Now, the nanoparticle synthesis employ a number of techniques for the development of nanoformulation. The selection of the technique, it directly depends on the property of core or drug material and the coating or polymeric material. The selection of the technology also depends on requirement of the formulation, like what is the size, shape, surface morphology and surface charge. So in this module, we are going to discuss the various aspects of nanoparticle preparations and what are the process variables which affect the each and every process. Schematic representation of modified single emulsion solvent diffusion method is shown in this figure. First, we dissolve drug and polymer in a mixture of highly water miscible and water immiscible organic solvent. After dissolving, we emulsified this phase into water in presence of particular stabilizer like PVA or 280 at an optimum concentration. After the preparation of emulsion, add excessive amount of water to induce diffusion of solvent, which can lead to the preparation of nanoparticles. The nanosuspension thus formed, we processed for solvent evaporation under reduced pressure or by continuous or mild stirring at room temperature. Then separation of the nanoparticles we usually do by ultracentrifugation. Then after ultracentrifugation, nanoparticles in the form of pellet are going to be separated, then washed with suitable solvent and then freeze dried. Now student, let us see what is the various steps in spontaneous emulsification or modified emulsion solvent evaporation method. This method merges the attributes of emulsion evaporation and nanoprecipitation. This method employs mixture of highly water immiscible solvent like dichloromethane, chloroform and highly water miscible solvent acetone, ethanol or methanol. Rapid diffusion of highly water miscible solvent leads to the shrinkage of larger droplets into smaller droplets, forming smaller particles, while water immiscible solvent retards very rapid diffusion of solvents, thus helps in retaining the drug into nanoparticles. Method was developed to overcome the limitation of emulsion solvent evaporation like larger particle size, and thus the external energy is required to bring them into the nano range. Solvent diffusion method, large amount of the water is required, resulting into difficult recovery and poor entrapment. Now let us see what are the merits of this technique. First, it does not require any external energy like in case of emulsion solvent evaporation. It can be exploited for both hydrophobic and hydrophilic drugs. It can overcome the drawbacks of emulsion evaporation and emulsion diffusion methods. It also includes less toxic solvent like acetone and ethanol, thus reduces the quantity of toxic solvents. Demerits of technique. The first demerit, relatively poor entrapment efficiency of drug in comparison to emulsion evaporation. due to high migration along with the polar solvent diffusion into aqueous phase. It cannot be applied at high polymer concentration as it does not involve the external energy. Thus, particle size is very sensitive to polymer concentration. Another important demerit of this technique, residual toxic solvent like dichloromethane or chloroform. Now, let us discuss what are the process variables which affect the efficiency of spontaneous emulsification or modified emulsion solvent evaporation method. The first process variable is polymer molecular weight, second is solvent polarity, the third one is surfactant type and its concentration, fourth one aqueous to organic phase ratio, next viscosity of external aqueous phase, polymer concentration and stirring speed. All these process variables we have already discussed in previous section, that is module number 15. The important process variable under this particular method is ratio of water miscible to water immiscible solvent, because it was seen that upon increasing water miscible solvent, the size and the drug entrapment of the nanoparticles decreases. Student, now let us see the another method for preparation of nanoparticle, that is nanoprecipitation or solvent displacement method. This method also comes under the heading of top-down approach. The main characteristic of this method, it employs highly water miscible solvent like acetone, ethanol or methanol. Nanoparticle formation take place in as a result of interfacial deposition of a polymer owing to the rapid diffusion of highly water miscible solvents. Particles formation is an instantaneous process due to very fast diffusion of polar solvent. Now, let us discuss the process variables which make a great impact on efficiency of the process in terms of particle size and entrapment. The process variable, they are almost same as we discussed in previous method, like polymer molecular weight, concentration of the polymer, what is the solvent polarity, what is the solubility of the drug in organic solvent, what is the ratio of aqueous to organic phase, what type of the stabilizer we are taking for the preparation, what is the concentration of the stabilizer, what is the stirring rate. All these process parameter we already discussed in module 15. Now let us see what are the merits of this technique. First, does not require external energy. Second, particles formation is a rapid process. Third one, this method employs relatively less toxic solvents. And last one, relatively smaller particle size can be obtained. Now, let us see what are the disadvantages of this method. The method is suitable only for hydrophobic drugs. Drug must have high solubility in acetone or ethanol or methanol, but least solubility in aqueous phase. Poor drug entrapment due to rapid diffusion of solvents. And another disadvantage is high polymer feed cannot be used since particles highly sensitive to polymer concentration. Now, let us discuss the process variables which make a great impact on efficiency of the process in terms of particle size and entrapment. The process variable, they are almost same as we discussed in previous method, like polymer molecular weight, concentration of the polymer, what is the solvent polarity, what is the solubility of the drug in organic solvent, what is the ratio of aqueous to organic phase, what type of the stabilizer we are taking for the preparation, what is the concentration of the stabilizer, what is the stirring rate. All these process parameter we already discussed in module 15. Now, student, let us discuss with another method in preparation of nanoparticle, that is under the approach of top-down, that is salting out method. This method overlaps with emulsion diffusion and nanoprecipitation method. Like nanoprecipitation, this technique employs highly polar solvent. Similar to solvent diffusion method, organic phase is emulsified into small quantity of aqueous phase in presence of inorganic salt like magnesium chloride, magnesium acetate, then large quantity of the water is added to induce precipitation. Rapid diffusion of solvent leads to small size particles like in case of nanoprecipitation. Generally, polymer and salts are used in the ratio of 1:3. This diagram is showing different steps for preparation of nanoparticle by salting out method. In this technique, first, polymer and the drugs are dissolved in organic phase comprising of highly polar solvents like acetone or tetrahydrofuran and emulsified it into salt and stabilizer rich aqueous phase under strong mechanical shear stress followed by addition of water which induces the solvent diffusion resulting into polymer precipitation. Finally, nanosuspension is subjected to purification either by cross flow filtration or centrifugation to eliminate the electrolytes. The commonly investigated electrolyte salts are magnesium chloride, magnesium acetate, sodium chloride, and non-electrolytic salts like sucrose. Generally, polymer and salts are used in the ratio of 1:3. The purpose for the salt addition into aqueous phase is to prevent the solvent diffusion, which allows the emulsification under high shear stress, while addition of water reduces the ionic strength, which induces the solvent diffusion, resulting into the nanoparticle formation. Now let us see what are the advantages of this technique. The technique employs non-toxic solvents. It does not require external energy. It provides relatively smaller particle size and high drug entrapment. Now, demerits of the technique. Technique requires excessive purification of nanoparticles in order to remove the organic solvent. Process variables. The process variable, they are same as we discussed in previous method, except here the concentration of the solvent make a great impact on size of the nanoparticle and entrapment of the drug in the nanoparticle. Now the next technique is dialysis method for the preparation of nanoparticles. This technique we generally use when smaller particle size with narrow distribution range are required. In this technique, drug and polymer are dissolved in a polar solvent and poured into a dialysis bay of appropriate cutoff pore size, followed by dialysis against non-solvent phase, that is water. Non-solvent phase displaces the solvent and induces polymer precipitation, consequently formation of nanoparticles with small size and narrow size distribution. It has been investigated for many polymers and copolymers like polybenzyl glutamate, beta polyethylene oxide, and polylactide beta polyethylene oxide nanoparticles. The diagrammatic representation of dialysis method is shown in this figure. Polymer and the drug we are going to dissolve in organic solvent which is miscible with water. After solubilization, this particular mixture or the solution, we are pouring this solution in dialysis bag of appropriate cutoff pore size and dialyzed against non-solvent, that is water, resulting into the formation of nanoparticles. Now let us discuss the merits and demerits of this technique. First, we are going to take merits of technique. The technique provides small size of nanoparticles with narrow size distribution. The method does not require any external energy. Demerits of technique. First, large polymer feed cannot be incorporated because particle size is very sensitive to the polymer concentration. As we increase the polymer concentration, the size of the nanoparticles may increase. The drug loading in this particular method is comparatively less. The method is time consuming. Now, let us see what are the various process variables which affect the efficiency of this method. The variables we have already discussed in previous methods, but some particular process variables which affect this method, they are first polymer concentration and second is solvent polarity. Now, let us see what are the disadvantages and advantages of supercritical fluid technology. As we know, it is most advanced technique for the preparation of polymeric micro and nanoparticles. It is an eco-friendly method since it employs supercritical fluid rather than organic solvent. Now, let us discuss advantages of supercritical fluid technology. The method is eco-friendly, large-scale production is possible, and it overcomes the shortcomings of various traditional methods for preparation of nanoparticles. Now, demerits of the technique. The method is expensive. It requires a specially designed equipment. It also requires more space for installation. And last but very important, that all the polymers or drugs are not essentially soluble in supercritical fluids. Now, we are going to discuss a very interesting method for the preparation of nanoparticle, that is a supercritical fluid technology, that is also known as the green alternative for the preparation of nanoparticle. The conventional methods for the preparation of polymeric nanoparticle such as the solvent evaporation, solvent diffusion, they employ organic solvents to prepare the nanoparticle. However, these solvents are hazardous to both the physiological system and the environmental system. Thus, the supercritical fluids can be used as a safer green alternative to produce the nanoparticles of high purity. A supercritical fluid is defined as a solvent at a temperature and a pressure above its critical point at which the fluid remains a single phase. The most commonly used supercritical fluid is supercritical carbon dioxide with critical temperature 31.1 degree centigrade and critical pressure 73.8 bars, and possessing the additional benefits of non-toxicity, non-flammability and low price. Two common techniques are used to prepare nanoparticle using supercritical fluids. They are first RESS approach, that is also known as rapid expansion of supercritical solution. The second approach is also known as resolve, that is the rapid expansion of supercritical solution into liquid solvent. Let us take the first technique, that is rapid expansion of supercritical solution. In this method, the material to be processed are dissolved in supercritical fluid such as carbon dioxide in a high pressure mixing cell. The solution is then pumped into the pre-expansion unit using a syringe pump and is heated isobarically to the pre-expansion temperature. The solution is then allowed to expand through the orifice or the capillary nozzle into a lower pressure region, results into a loss of its solvent property and generation of state of supersaturation, consequently the homogeneous nucleation and nanoparticle formation. The nanoparticle preparation by supercritical fluid technology is shown in this diagram. This diagram is representing both the techniques RESS and RESOLV. Now, let us see what are the various variables which affect RESS technique, that is rapid expansion of supercritical solution. The first variable is properties of material, second the molecular weight of polymer, third one processing conditions, what is the temperature, pressure, etc., degree of saturation, and concentration of polymer. Now, the another technique under the supercritical fluid technology, that is the Resolve, we are going to discuss. Resolve was developed to overcome the drawbacks of RESS technique. Thus, it can be said amended version of RESS and can be discriminated from RESS only in one aspect. It involves the expansion of the supercritical fluid in a solvent rather than ambient air. Though the expansion of supercritical into air able to generate the nanoparticles but leads to aggregation of formed nanoparticle. Therefore, it was proposed that aggregation can be avoided by expanding supercritical into solvent rather than air, since liquid solvents were expected to suppress particle growth. Now, what are the merits of this technique? The method is eco-friendly. Another merit, large scale production is possible, and this technique also overcomes shortcomings of various traditional methods. The demerits of Resolve technique, they are same as RESS technique. The first is the method is expensive. It requires a specially designed equipment. It also requires more space for installation, and method cannot be used for all type of polymer and drug. Or in another word, we can say only those polymer and drug which are soluble in supercritical fluids can be used for this technique. Process variables which affect the efficiency or the performance of these methods, they are property of material or drug, what is the molecular weight of polymer, what are the processing conditions like temperature, pressure, what is the degree of saturation, and composition of solvent used for expanding supercritical fluid. Though both RESS and RESOLV techniques are eco-friendly, but both methods suffer from solubility issues of drug and polymer into supercritical fluids, which resulted in the development of supercritical anti-solvent method, that is called SAS. This method involves the use of any solvent which shows miscibility with supercritical fluid and is able to solubilize the materials to micro and nano sized at processing conditions. Removal of anti-solvent from supercritical fluid and expansion of supercritical fluid into ambient air leads to precipitation of drug particles, thus resulting in formation of nanoparticles. Now student, let us see what is the nanospray drying for the preparation of nanoparticles. This nanospray drying is a modernization of existing spray drying technique. As the name indicates, nanospray drying, it means we are spraying the solution or the suspension or the mixture of drug and polymer into an equipment which converting this mixture into the nanodroplets, and after converting into the nanodroplets, immediate drying is going to be occur and nanoparticles formation is going to be start. In this technique, the nanoparticles are prepared in two ways depending on the solubility of the drug and polymer. And we can divide this product into the two parts. One is nanocapsule and another one is nanosphere. The nanosphere is also called as a matrix type of the system, and nanocapsules, they can known as the coated type of delivery system. When the mixture of drug and polymer, or in another word we can say the core and the coating material, when it is solubilized in solvent system, and when this mixture we are putting into the nanospray, the resulting product is known as the nanosphere, because both the drug and the polymer, they are soluble in solvent. While in case when the drug is not soluble in the solvent, or it is in the dispersed state, in that case the nanocapsules, they are going to be formed. The preparation of nanocapsules and the nanosphere depend on the solubility of drug in the solvent which we are taking to solubilize the polymeric material. After preparation of solution or the suspension, it is subjected to the spray drying. In the spray drying, there is a one drying chamber, and in this drying chamber, we are putting the slurry or the solution of core and the coating material into the drying chamber. Through the atomizer, we are going to produce a very fine mist or very fine spray of this slurry. Along with the slurry, we are also passing the hot air, which generally dry the particles, and after drying, we immediately separate the product by using the different type of the separation technology. The one of the most common is cyclone separator. There are various process variables which can affect the process. The first is the concentration of the polymer, concentration of the drug, which directly affects the viscosity of the material which we are going to spray into the equipment. When the viscosity will be more, it will be difficult to get the nano spray. Second is the flow rate of that slurry into the nano spray dryer. When the flow is very high, the particles, they are not going to be reduced properly, and when the flow is very slow, then also it will create a problem. So the flow or the feed rate is also an important parameter. The third parameter is the temperature, which can also affect the process because we have to maintain the temperature properly. The another important parameter in this nano spray is type of the atomizer. Various types of the atomizers, they are available in nano spray dryer. Basically, the disc type of atomizer, they are mostly used in nano spray drying. And this atomizer, which is a disc atomizer, it generally rotates at a very high speed like 50,000 RPM. And when one drop of the slurry is going to put on this disc atomizer, it will break that particular droplet into the several or the 1,000 droplets having the size in nano range. Now, student, let us see what are the advantages of this technique. The technique is very fast, economic, single step and continuous and automatic process. It is scalable also, and industry, they are mostly use this nano spray for the preparation of free flowing material, preparation of microcapsules, preparations of nano type of the delivery system. The particle size and the morphology can be easily modulated by controlling the various parameters. It is also suitable for the thermolabile drug because the drug is going to come for a fraction of second with the hot air. Now, demerits of the technique. The large amount of the feed material is required. So, on the laboratory scale, we cannot use this particular equipment. Second is the yield of the product is very less, that is the 70%, and sometimes the particle may aggregate and they form a micro type of the particles. So, the process variables we have to control in order to get a proper nanoparticle preparation. The nanospray drying technique is diagrammatically represented in this figure. The figure clearly shows a drying chamber and nozzle, that is also called the atomizer, and drying gas is also flowing into the chamber, and this drying chamber is again connected to the filter or the cyclone separator to remove the nanoparticles from drying chamber. Student, let us see the another method for the preparation of nanoparticle, that is ionic gelation. This is the last method under the section of top-down approach for preparation of nanoparticle. This ionic gelation is typically the ionic gelation and polyelectrolyte complexation are based on the ionic interaction between polymer, maybe anionic or cationic, and counterpart, that is cation or anion. Ionic interaction between these two moieties undergo through a stage named material transition, that is from liquid stage to gel, which resulting into nanoparticles formation. The term ionic gelation is appropriate when polymer counterparts are small molecules like phosphate, calcium citrate, and sulfate, while it is more appropriate to use term polyelectrolyte complexation or complex coacervation or interfacial coacervation when counter ions are macromolecules like alginate, dextran sulfate, chondroitin sulfate, gelatin, etc. In this technique, the solution of polymer and counter ions are prepared separately. Drug can be added into any of the solution under controlled magnetic steering. Usually, polymer solution is added into the counter ion solution. However, it can be reversed also. The schematic representation of ionic gelation method is shown in this diagram. The diagram is showing the formulation of chitosan nanoparticles by anion induced agent. Now let us see what are the advantages of this technique. The technique is very eco-friendly as it does not employ any organic solvent. It usually employs hydrophilic polymer, thus shows more drug loading for hydrophilic drugs. The disadvantage of the technique: high polymer feed cannot be used as particle size are sensitive to polymer concentration. So, anybody whosoever is working on this method, the concentration of the polymer playing an important role in deciding the size of nanoparticles. Now, what are the process variables which affect the efficiency of this method? The first variable, which is a very important, that is charge ratio between polymer and ion inducer. Second is polymer and counter ion concentration. Third one is the stirring speed during mixing of these two solutions, pH of the solution, and initial drug concentration. Now student, let us see the another approach for the preparation of nanoparticle. The second approach we have already discussed, that is known as a bottom-up approach and also known as polymerization method. The techniques mentioned in top-down approach, they generally require pre-formed polymer for the preparation of nanoparticle, while the techniques which we are going to discuss under the polymerization heading, they involves the production of nanoparticle with the polymerization of monomers. The polymerization involves the chemical induced aggregation of monomers which lead to development of nanoparticle. Drug can either be directly incorporated during the polymerization technique of monomer or can be adsorbed on the preformed nanoparticles. Nanosuspension is purified by ultracentrifugation to remove residual monomers, initiator and stabilizers. It is most commonly investigated method for development of polycyanoacrylate nanoparticles. Polymerization methods can be divided into the various types. First, emulsion polymerization, that is again divided into two: conventional emulsion polymerization and surfactant-free emulsion polymerization. Second one, mini emulsion polymerization, and third one is interfacial polymerization. The first we are going to discuss the emulsion polymerization. Under the emulsion polymerization, the first type is conventional emulsion polymerization. This technique is most commonly employed method for development of polymeric nanoparticles in size range of 100 nanometer. This method is more appropriate when monomer have poor water affinity while initiator and surfactants are having good aqueous solubility. Polymerization reaction take place in the following steps. First, monomer are emulsified into non-solvent, then they partition gradually into aqueous phase, that is a continuous phase, then They interact with existing initiator molecules. Ions are free radicals into continuous phase. Ions are radicals are widely investigated to induce polymerization. However, it can also be induced by high energy radiation like gamma radiation, UV radiation, or even with the visible light where monomer itself converts into ion or radicals and acts as initiator molecules. Nanoparticles formation may be happen before or on completion of polymerization. Now let us see what are the process variables which affect the efficiency of the conventional emulsion polymerization technique. The first process variable is monomer concentration. It was observed by the scientists that particle size increases upon increasing monomer concentration. So, the optimization of the monomer concentration is very important in order to get the nanoparticles of a desired size range. Another important process variable is type of surfactant. It plays a major role on the nanoparticle size. The scientists they have reported the nanoparticle size 50 nanometer when bridge 35 was used as emulsifying agent, while it was found 300 nanometer when any other anionic surfactant was used as a emulsifying agent. Now let us see another technique for preparation of nanoparticles by polymerization, that is surfactant-free emulsion polymerization. This technique has an extra advantage over conventional polymerization as it does not employ surfactant, hence it does not require excessive surfactant removal process, which is time taking and costly. In this technique, commonly used monomers are vinyl or acryl monomers and potassium persulfate is most common water-soluble initiator. Interaction between water-soluble monomer and initiator results into homogeneous nucleation which resulting into the formation of nanoparticles. Another important polymerization technique is mini emulsion polymerization. It is a modified form of emulsion polymerization. The only difference between them is employs co-stabilizer and high shear rate. Moreover, in this method, only a small quantity of surfactants are used. Therefore, resultant mini emulsion process interfacial tension is greater than zero. In this technique, polymerization is induced by free radicals. Thus, the nature of free radical has a great effect on size of nanoparticles. Usually, water-soluble initiator induces the polymerization which leads to development of microparticles, while lipophilic radical initiator induced polymerization leads to nanoparticles formation. Interfacial polymerization is another important technique for the preparation of nanoparticles. Among the polymerization techniques, interfacial polymerization is one of the popular technique for development of polymeric nanoparticles. It termed as interfacial polymerization as because it takes place between monomers at the interface of two immiscible liquids which results in to the formation of nanoparticles. According to the solubility, monomers are dissolved in disperse and continuous phase, then disperse phase is emulsified into a continuous phase. Monomer molecules accumulate at the interface and polymerize over there, which leads to the development of nanosphere or nanocapsules depending on the solubility of formed polymer within monomer droplets. A formed polymer soluble into monomer droplets results into nanospheres, while nanocapsules is formed if insoluble in monomer droplets. Now, after discussion of different polymerization techniques, let us see what are the merits and demerits of these polymerization techniques. First, we will see advantages of polymerization technique. Under this heading, usually polymerization is conducted in aqueous phase, thus they do not require any organic solvents. Disadvantage of the polymerization techniques are The major concern is toxicity due to residual monomers and initiators present in nanoparticles. So, students, let us summarize what we have learned from this module. We have discussed so many methods for the preparation of nanoparticles, and each method having certain disadvantages and advantages. So, let us see what we concluded from all these techniques. Spontaneous emulsification, nanoprecipitation and salting techniques of nanoparticle preparation employ water-miscible solvent. Thus, the size and the drug entrapment substantially depends on polarity as well as the quantity of the solvent, or in another word we can say what is the ratio of water-miscible and the immiscible solvent. Dialysis technique is considered to be the most appropriate method for nanoparticle preparation when narrow size distribution is prerequisite, especially the particle size below 100 nanometer. Usually, the polymerization reactions are conducted in water, thus does not require solvent. However, residual monomers as well as free radical raises the issue of toxicity. Supercritical fluid technology is the most recent and most advanced eco-friendly technique and can be suitably applied for large-scale production of polymeric microparticle or nanoparticle after controlling various process parameters. It is also known as a green chemistry approach because the organic solvent we are not using in this preparation, we are simply using inert material like the carbon dioxide. Thus, the supercritical fluid technology can be considered best among the other techniques. Also, the cost of the equipment should be taken into the consideration while using this supercritical fluid technology.